Hello and welcome to this video for complex numbers. This is the third video for complex numbers, and for this video we're going to be covering some concepts on Argand diagrams. So the first question we want to ask is, what is an Argand diagram? Well, to put it in a simple way, an Argand diagram is basically very similar to an x and y plot. Instead of plotting x and y, we're going to be plotting the imaginary parts and real parts of complex numbers. So if we just draw a 2D axis here, sorry, it's not very neat. So instead of having x and y, we're going to be having our imaginary parts on our what would be our y-axis, or imaginary part of a complex number, and we're going to be plotting the real part of a complex number. And basically this Argand diagram is just going to be a 2D representation of a complex number in the plane. So for example, if we were to say, if we have a complex number z equals to 1 plus 2i, we all know that 1 here is going to be our real part of the complex number, and the 2 is going to be the representation of the imaginary part of the complex number. So that's the imaginary part. So when we're plotting the Argand diagram, we simply say that x equals to 1 is our real part and our imaginary part is 2. So if we plot onto our Argand diagram, it might look something like this. So if we have real is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So if we have 1 plus 2i, that's simply the real part of z would be 1 and the imaginary part would be 2. So that would be where our z is. Let's try another example. If we had a complex number, let's say u equals to 3 minus 4i, for example, then our complex number, we have our real part is positive 3 and our imaginary part is negative 4. So our complex number would be somewhere around here. That would be u. And try one more example. We're going to say maybe a equals to negative 2 plus I. So in this case, our real part is negative 2 and our imaginary part is positive 1. So in this case, our complex number will be somewhere around here. So that would be u. So in NCAA exams, it's a pretty common achieve level question where they'll just be asking you to be plotting points on the Argand diagram, but usually they'll make you to do some basic computation first. So for example, they might ask you, if u equals to 1 plus 2i, then they might want you to plot u to the power of 3 on an Argand diagram. This will be a very typical example of an achieve level question for NCAA, and we'll just give it a little bit of a crack. So we say that, so we're going to be finding out what is u to the power of 3 in u to the power of 3 representation in the complex form. So we're just going to compute 1 plus 2i to the power of 3. So first we can expand out 1 plus 2i multiplied by 1 plus 2i. So we learned by our basic multiplication, we can just expand. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times positive 2i is positive 2i. Positive 2i times 1 is also positive 2i. And 2i times 2i is 4i squared, which is negative 4. So this will give us 4i minus 3. And we're just going to multiply by another set of 1 plus 2i to get u to the power of 3. So u to the power of 3 is equal to 4i minus 3 multiplied by 1 plus 2i. So once again, we're just going to expand out. So we have 4i times 1, that is just 4i. 4i times of 2i, which is 8i squared, which is negative 8. Negative 3 times 1 is minus 3. And negative 3 times positive 2i is negative 6i. And this will give us negative 2i minus 11. So that would be u to the power of 3. And we're just going to be plotting this on the Argand diagram. So the diagram I drew here probably isn't the best representation since of the scaling, but we just drew it here. If we have negative 2i minus 11, it might be somewhere, we say it's negative 2. And we'll say here is, and we'll say right here is negative 11. So our complex number u to the power of 3 would be here. And that's all I really wanted to cover in this short video on Argand diagram. Hopefully the concept is pretty simple. And on the next video, we're going to be covering the polar form of a complex number. Thank you for watching.